fundamental, and goes back to the point I raised about India being a public good and being the biggest democracy in the world. We simply cannot afford a planet that doesn't produce under democratic conditions. Okay? Because if democracies do not start producing again, right, they will not survive. Because the tensions that will arise inside the democracy, the inequality that will arise, the anger that will arise, will just collapse the democracy. So what is required is new thinking about how you start to produce in a democratic environment, which is completely different than production in a coercive environment. In a coercive environment, what you're basically doing is a factory, a production unit has a huge amount of socio-political energy inside it. And what you're doing is you're forcing it closed inside the structure. You can't do that in a democracy. So that conversation between labor and capital has to happen, has to be a negotiation, right? And I think that's where a lot of the thinking has to happen. How do we start to produce again in a democratic environment, and how do we manage the negotiation between the structures in the factory so that they can happen in a democratic structure?